You want
Yes,
to, you want to give you a,
Yes, please.
yeah. There you go. Clock on the wall's like an hour and 3 minutes too fast. Yeah.
Stuck at home, so.
Yeah, yeah, why not? All right, I should be streaming live on Facebook now.
You are. I see it.
All right. Yeah.
Can we put the camera on Heather's hair?
Only if she's in the Zoom meeting. It doesn't matter.
Are you watching or no? Mm-mm.
Sean, I like the background of your house, man. It's a nice setup you got there. You're on mute, so we can't hear you, but. Oh, still can't hear you.
His library's bigger than mine. He's got 4. I got 2.
Probably move so that not everybody on Facebook. Normally I'm on my laptop, but with everything going on right now, it's stolen for use by other family members, of course.
Yeah. See you. All right. I think we're good to go. Oh, okay. Oh, yep, I see her. Sorry. I see you now.
Ready? All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the
United States of America.
and to the
Republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll, please.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. As you may recognize, we have Mr. Picoli at home. And we have Mrs. Bonkowski at home. But they will be participating tonight. And we have Mr. Addis and Mr. Kelly at home also, and they will be participating. Approval of agenda.
Did we have, and it might be under your president's items, number F, but did we have a resolution about the appointing a treasurer?
No.
No. Okay.
We received one from the attorney. But it would be premature to do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Been properly moved and supported that we approve the agenda as presented. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment on the agenda. Being none. Approval of council meetings minutes from the October 13th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Support.
Been properly moved and supported that we approve the minutes of the October 13th meeting. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Been moved and supported that we approve the consent agenda as presented. If anyone is wondering why that number is large, half of that is the final payment for our streets, or the payment for our streets.
Tracy just texted and wanted to remind us that she's on Zoom but not participating tonight.
Okay. Any questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Yes.
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 I'm not hearing the clerk. I don't know if she has a microphone or not.
When we do the roll or anything with, if you could just hit the space bar, I think that'll temporarily unmute you, I think.
Item A, testing engineers and consultants. This was part of the street project that we somehow forgot, where they come out and they actually test the density of the road prior to construction to give us some idea of what we're gonna have to do. So this was part of that road construction project that was just under $2,764 that we owe to the testing engineers for the work that they did. Samantha, am I correct in what I'm saying? Yes. The proposal was approved originally. It has needed business, and this is what they're trying to do in the construction.
already been approved and paid, and we're just receiving and filing the information?
No, they originally gave us a proposal for hourly, and this is the actual contract.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the actual.
Make a motion that we approve the testing engineers and consultants road density, road project density test for $2,764.
Support.
It's properly moved and supported that we approve this payment to the testing engineers in the amount of $2,764. Any questions on the motion?
Actually, if I may, it looks like it might be $2,764.40.
Yep, the 40 cents.
All right, so, make amendment $2,764.40.
Support.
Any question on the motion? Roll, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Did you call Mr. Capoli?
I'll be a yes.
No.
No, he's participating over Zoom.
Item B, GLWA. We were informed by the Great Lakes Water Authority a couple months ago that we've exceeded our daily allowance. Our current contract calls for 0.6 MCF, no, 0.6 MGD. It's million gallons a day. It's whatever you break it down, it amounts to a lot of water. And what had happened is that with the new construction, we're using a lot more water than what we had contracted for. And we also found out that Riverbrook had a water main break that they did not react to until a few days. And we also found out that Riverbrook and Middle Creek sprinkler systems were malfunctioning for about a month. They were running constant for about a month. So we use a lot of water. So, of course, they contacted us. We had a Zoom meeting, and they have in place a procedure where they would take this exceedance and give it to a committee, and they could really charge us a lot of money for exceeding our contract. So we had a second Zoom meeting that I got involved in, and we negotiated a rate that we think will accommodate the current rate of construction. And we shouldn't have to worry about exceeding. The only thing that could come into play would be a major water main break or something like what happened out in Riverbrook, and they didn't react to it. And I know why they didn't react to it, because they just passed on the excess water to the residents. You know? So we negotiated a rate, and what I'm going to recommend is that our new rate is 0.785 MGD, which will take us up to calendar year 2022. And that should accommodate the continued growth in the village. As we look at our graphs on a weekly basis, we can see when there are peaks and there's valleys and there's trends, and we also argued with Great Lakes Water Authority that the fact that everyone is home right now during this pandemic is that there's a lot more water being used. So they accepted our argument, and they agreed to this new rate. And so they're going to take it to their board for approval, but we had to get approval from this board prior.
And with the what was it, MGD? So like, how does that really affect us? I mean, if it's 0.785 versus
0.6. It's, give me the breakdown, Samantha or Sandy, what does the 0.6, how many gallons a day does that translate into? Okay,
so it's just essentially like how much they're billing us for.
that's how much we can use up to.
So if we use more than the 0.785, which I know this is allowing for growth, but just if we use more, then what happens? It's like, okay.
Yeah, so we have a 1.1 max rate. The contract is a strange contract, and I totally don't agree with it, but it's how they write their contracts. And we have this range where they can penalize us if we don't use enough, and they can penalize us if we use too much. So these numbers are, we compile these numbers based on history and past practice, and we kind of build in for some of the unknowns that may happen. So
Is this-
we're in a good range right now with 0.8785.
Is this contract written in a way where it's actual usage, or will it do like an average weekly usage?
We actually pay for what we actually use.
So when we have one really bad week and we go over that amount, they can penalize us then for it,
No,
and then,
no, here's an average.
okay.
Here's an average.
They're nodding their heads over there, though.
Yeah. Yep.
They're nodding, saying that there is a.
What?
They all have a max day off, or they take a day out of the year.
Yeah, they take a day, yeah.
And if you're over it, then you are, if you're under it, then you're safe.
Yeah. So the max day is 1.1. So the max day is really way above what we actually use.
Did you hear all that, Trustee Pacoli?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a strange way to write a contract, but that's the way the Great Lakes Water Authority and all their users, that's how their board of directors set it up. So with that being said,
I make a motion that we adopt the GLWA contract for 0.785 MGD.
Second.
been properly moved and supported that we adopt this 0.785 MGD from the Great Lakes Water Authority. If I may add, there was some suggestion that we adopt even a higher rate, but the higher rate would have cost us additional money up front. So I'm confident that this rate right here will satisfy the growth that is taking place right now. If we suddenly boom, then we need to come back and look at this again.
When is this effective?
It's in effect until 2022.
Because the document states for 2022.
Yeah, that's when it actually, well, it's in effect, like, it's gonna go into effect once they adopt it, isn't it, Samet?
Yeah, it's in effect right now.
Yeah,
Once you adopt it.
yeah,
And then the fiscal year is in July, that's when the next open year will be. And you can negotiate a higher
right,
cap, and we're gonna do that next year.
in 2022. Yeah, because there's opener, this is like a 30-year contract, and there's an opener every 5 years. Questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item C, the MERS contract. Sandy, would you come up and?
Our design entity plan, and MERS is at zero disclosure of tax impact. We want to reiterate what wages we're paying for our 5%, which is 44% of the retirement fund. This is just reiterating that we pay only growth rate. We don't pay any allowances. So it's basically reiterating what we do pay and have tax paid before, and we're gonna keep the same thing that we've been doing. So, for instance, like we had to pay, it's kind of the wage that we did pay, employees working on that. Gas allowance, food allowance, anything with allowance we're gonna pay on, that's what I'm trying to get at. So this will be able to make sure that we just pay on wages and then kind of going on, and that happens. It's employees. We don't pay any allowance to payroll anyway, so I doubt it will ever happen that we just. But this is just reiterating that we always will pay for the wage on that.
Is this a yearly, requirement?
Not necessarily, I haven't seen this in a while, so this is all being proposed, they want to make sure everybody's seeing what they want to go, put the favor coming across the board, people are doing stuff, so this doesn't usually happen every year, this is just the next 2 years, I think the last time it was about 3 years ago.
Really?
It's been a while, I can go look back, I don't remember. So this is becoming effective on January 2021, and it'll be the next year.
Now, do we have to adopt this, or this is for,
It's an adoption agreement, we have to adopt it, yeah.
okay, so we have to adopt it? Okay.
It's second motion on it. So,
Okay.
there's a 25 of those in the next.
Any questions for Sandy? Okay, motion in order.
I make a motion that we approve the newest defined contribution adoption agreement. Support.
Been properly moved and supported that we adopt this MERS agreement. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item D is another MERS agreement, and I know this one pertains to the fire department.
It does. This 40% of participation agreement is basically like a private sector role with that. This would be an employee contribution. And this is an amendment to what we have in place already, but for the fire department to be added on. They asked us before the COVID if we would do this one. And COVID got messed up and then they did a settlement with this agreement put in place. So basically, all this is doing is making them eligible, the full-time, part-time, paid on call fire department, fire people, to be able to contribute if they want to. So it was employee contribution, employee account. And we had told them back, I don't remember if it was month or six or a month, that we would do this for them. And so I'm kind of doing it, so it's always, effective January. We're gonna be able to.
So this is strictly employee.
Employee, not employee.
And then I see that the contributions, it says weekly, but I think, don't we pay most of the fire department quarterly, or?
Well, I put weekly on there, because for the fact that we have part-time people that are weekly,
Right,
weekly, monthly, and quarterly, so people will get paid, so.
Okay.
That part is what you will pay, I mean, I'll be reporting weekly anyway, I report weekly anyway, so if somebody adds on, you just do it. So actually, so I do report weekly now, so. We'll cover it. Any questions?
What's the pleasure?
I make a motion that we approve the new 457 fire department participation agreement.
support,
Been properly moved and supported that we adopt this MERS 457 agreement pertaining to the fire department's contribution. Any questions on the motion? Those in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion carried. Item E, I was given a tour of the fire base, and the lighting out there, which in my opinion was was outdated when this building was built. So, we had started about a year ago getting some prices, and so I asked the chief and the assistant chief to bring this back up, see if they can get some up-to-date quotes. And the best one that they come up with, or the one that they come up with, is in front of you. And it's a $7,800 quote to replace the lights in the fire base with a $2,769 rebate, which brings the actual, excuse me, which brings the actual cost down to $5,030.40. When you turn on the lights out there, you have to wait for them to warm up, right? And if you happen to turn them off and you turn them back on, you got to wait for them to cool off. It's really not a good situation. And the replacement bulbs for the existing fixtures out there are very expensive and hard to find, and they don't last very long. So this quote right here would give them the nice LED bright, and even the energy savings.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the proposal says that it's only gonna take like 1.74 years to regain,
Right.
recoup the cost.
Pay it back, so
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Even though we're still having, we haven't finalized where we stand with this building, I think it's a certain investment that we need to take, because I would hate for someone to get hurt, walking around in the dark.
True.
Yeah, so.
I make a motion that we accept the Energy Specialties Group quote for the total amount of, you want the total amount before or after the rebate? After the rebate?
Put them both in there.
All right, total cost being $7,800 after the rebate of $2,769.60 for estimated contract price of $5,030.40.
Second.
Been properly moved and supported that we accept this proposal from Energy Specialties Group to replace the lighting in the fire department bays. Any questions on the motion? No, there isn't. Questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Yes. Mario?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We finally got approval from the county, as far as the community development, the sidewalk project to, I'm putting myself there. Oh, that's not the one. We've made the payments. We finally got approval from the county, and we made the payments to Lacaria for the sidewalk. And now we're asking for approval to pay the $57,310 that we were holding back. Correct? Jeanette?
What was the dollar amount that we were holding back?
$57,310.27.
57,310.27.
So we've finally satisfied all the requirements from the county, and believe me when I say, there were a lot of requirements.
I make a motion that we agree to pay or give the okay to pay for the $57,310.27 for Lacaria, was it?
Yeah, Lacaria.
Lacaria.
Been properly moved and supported that we make this payment of $57,310.27 to Macaria Contractors for the sidewalk project. This is the portion that we were holding back on the contract. Any questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Mario?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Contract B is contract 2 payment, which I'm still, Samantha, help me out with that contract 2 payment, please.
This is the same, that's not this one. This is the retainage that we have to do, first year. That's in,
So the $6,491 is what we were holding back from the first payment on contract 2. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So this is what we were withholding on the same project, but that we split them up into 2 contracts. And this is what we're
Yeah.
withholding on one.
Yeah, there was a contract, that contract portion where, the county didn't cover it and we had to pay for it, those gaps in the floodplain. So this is what we were holding back from that contract. And the amount is $6,491.09.
I make a motion that we go ahead and make the payment for the $6,491.09 for the second part of the contract.
Been moved and supported that we release the payment in the amount of $6,491.09 as on contract 2. Any questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Update on the funeral home. Mr. Kelly, I'm sure you're well aware of what's going on there.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, good. It's a little muffled trying to hear everyone in the council. Okay. Shortly after the council asked us to take action again against Mr. Evanchuk, I drafted and filed a motion to reinstate the 2018 case. We already had an order covering the property requiring Mr. Evanchuk to bring the premises up to code. Because it is a motion to reinstate a case that has already been dismissed, this requires service of that motion similar to a summons and complaint for an original action. So because Mr. Evanchuk had was difficult to serve in the past, we employed a process server to make sure that he had notice of the proceedings against him again. The process server tried to serve him 7 times. At one time, he pulled up in front of the funeral home in town and saw an individual matching Mr. Evanchuk's description, but that individual ran inside and our process server was unable to serve him. So that motion was originally scheduled for next Monday. And instead, I now have a motion before the court for substituted service so that we can simply tack the motion to the premises, and therefore that will be deemed as proper notice to Mr. Evanchuk. So the motion to reinstate and to force him to comply with the original 2018 order has been pushed off a few more weeks until December 7th. So I will know by Monday whether or not the judge will approve our substituted service. I don't believe there will be a problem with that at all. And then 3 weeks after that, we will then hopefully be able to prevail on the motion in which we're asking, again, that the court enforce the original order of requiring Mr. Evanchuk to bring the premises up to code.
The server, when Mr. Evanchuk went into his house, his door was slightly ajar, and the server took the opportunity to take a couple of pictures that I will share with you guys if the attorney thinks it's okay that we share on.
I'm having trouble hearing you, President Dilbert. I'm sorry.
The Mr. Kelly, would it be proper for us to share the pictures that were taken by the server?
I still,
President Dilbert's asking if it would be proper to share the photos that were taken by the server through the doorway.
that was taken by the process server. I mean, I don't know. What does Al think about that? It was taken by the process server in plain view when he left the door open after he walked inside. I don't have a problem sharing with the council.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay, then we will share those pictures. You will see. Very nice. During his work on this, Mr. Kelly has also covered the owner of this property, the actual owner of this property, Mr. Evanchuk. Correct me, Mr. Kelly, he is currently purchasing on a land contract.
It's unclear what exactly is going on with the property. I mean, technically, Mr. Evanchuk is the equitable owner who, for all intents and purposes, would be the one that we would bring legal action against, which is why we did for mediation of the property. The land contract vendor really only has a right to personal property, that being the proceeds from the land contract sale. But I was finally able to contact the land contract vendor, the legal owner, if you will, and he won't call me back. I can't find him, his physical address. All I have is a telephone number. I call him, he won't answer. And so, I mean, where we're at right now is just trying, if we have to dismiss this and bring another action later to condemn the whole place, then we'll have to serve that other technical owner as well. But we don't even know if he has paid the land contract off and it is indeed his, and it's just, there's never been a deed then recorded in Mr. Evanchuk's name. So we're not even sure the status, and I can't get that answer out of the land contract vendor.
I'm sure everything with the pandemic doesn't really make it any easier.
So,
It's not.
just so everyone's up to date, that there are some issues there, and hopefully at some point we can get this resolved. Alrighty. Are there any questions for Mr. Kelly or Mr. Adams? Payment of bills.
I make a motion that we pay the November bills in the amount of $208,102.86.
Been moved and supported that we pay the November bills in the amount of $208,102.86. Questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Coley,
Yes.
Yes. Carried. Treasure items.
Total bill cash asset of $5,501,739.99.
Would you repeat that, please?
$5,501,739.99.
Make a motion that we file and receive the treasurer's report.
Been moved that we file and receive the treasurer's report. Questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Clerk's items. Clerk is requesting the December items by November 28th. Unfinished business.
All right, so speed tables. I forwarded over some quotes that I received regarding speed tables, as well as a couple more emails of agreement with the proposal. Admittedly, I apologize. I didn't reach out to our DPW superintendent. I think we had agreement at the last meeting that he was okay with it, or at least trialing it. Some of the proposals that we received were for the speed tables ranging roughly between like $4,000 and $10,000. It definitely had a big range on price. This is just the material to be received. This would then require like our DPW, or if we would maybe have to do like an RFP to have it installed by through our engineering firm. It sounds like most of these speed tables, they're laid out on the ground wherever you want them to be installed, and then you drill some holes into the concrete, you epoxy a sleeve into place, which then allows the speed table to be bolted into place. One of the things I will admit I'm a little bit disappointed to hear when talking with some of these vendors. Most of them will not openly support the idea of having the speed table in place in the winter with plows. They probably hold up for a couple of years, but it may cause some damage, and eventually the plows might rip the speed tables up off of the ground. Most of them said they would recommend in the winter, once you really get into the actual snow months, to actually then unbolt the speed table and remove it from the pavement, which was really disappointing to hear, because that's obviously a hindrance with what we deal with on a seasonal basis. The only other option that I could think of if we were going to do something like this would be asphalt or something like that, which would be more permanent and easier to it would be more durable compared to the recycled rubber. But obviously that's a permanent. It's not like you can just bolt and unbolt this. And I think one of the benefits of this product that I liked is that you actually could unbolt it, and if you really wanted to, you could actually move it somewhere and reinstall it over there if need be. So I don't know. In all honesty, I'm a little bit at an impasse on this one. I'm not exactly sure how much we want to pursue. I don't know if we want to totally give this up, but it's definitely something that we have to consider, that once we start having snow flying, we do risk damaging the unless the DPW is somehow able to really work around the snow tables, or I mean the speed tables with the snow. One of the vendors, unfortunately, I can't remember which, to be completely honest. One of the vendors was actually talking about wanting to work with a municipality to get more data about how well their product would hold up in the case of winter months and snow plows and everything like that. And I said, well, if you're looking for a municipality to kind of give us a beta, we're your team. So I can go back and talk to them if you guys want me to further pursue that. But in all honesty, when I kind of heard that from all the vendors, it kind of it slightly turned me off to the entire idea. Complete disclosure there.
With the primary location was going to be on River Oak.
That was at least one of the initial ideas. Yeah.
With the River Oak being sold right now by Lombardo on the east side.
Right. Yeah, they're completely sold out.
It's sold out, and the west side is moving right along.
Right.
With the new homes being constructed in that area, do you think that would help curtail some of the speeders?
That was one of the things I was thinking too. I mean, just the eventual increase in people parking on the street could impact the amount of speeders. Although, full disclosure, one of our we did have a resident who was planning on attending today. I don't think he was able to make it for different reasons, but he was actually going to be asking council to make River Oaks one-way park or one-sided parking, to remove the ability to park on one side of the street. So it's definitely recognized that River Oaks, specifically between New Elementary and Arlington, is definitely a problem. It's just how do we best combat it? But yeah, once construction starts, they're going to have to slow down, or else they're going to start hitting heavy machinery and trailers and stuff. Yeah.
So my thought on here was I started looking at it too, and I saw that the prices of them, I mean, we're looking at $4,000, $5,000 without installation. And one of my thoughts is as someone who drives with some urgency too,
Drive system.
We, I think we should have a discussion with, like, as a council or have a representative talk to the Macomb County Sheriff about how they patrol our areas instead of just, focusing on, right now, I don't think that they focus on River Oaks Drive or the subdivisions as much as they do, say, Main Street or Gratiot. Maybe have a conversation with them about where they're doing their patrols to be more effective at curtailing speedings. Cause I mean, I'm looking at the speed table, and if I'm in a hurry, I'm going over that, but a sheriff will slow me down. So, I mean, if we can probably have that conversation, if that's going to be more cost effective or, for the long term.
Yeah,
You can bring it out their camera, their speed.
yeah.
Try to do that, though?
I've called multiple times and asked for them to do that, and they always kind of give me a good word that they will, and then it never happens, unfortunately. But maybe as a council, if we do, I was calling with the Decorah Park hat on instead of council hat.
Okay.
Maybe as a council, if we're
They have a new captain in charge of the road patrol. Daniel is taking over a different division. Well, once he recovers from his massive heart attack.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I'll out tomorrow and see if we can at least get that speed wagon, that speed, whatever you call it.
Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer out there. And if not, that may just give those speeders some, maybe the sheriff is lurking around the corner and, you need to slow it down.
When I do see Macomb County Sheriff's Department out on River Oaks, it's very, very common for them to be pulling cars over. I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, it doesn't take much.
Okay.
I mean, if they just hung out on Salt River Circle so that they were kind of off of the path, and kind of not as visible, especially with the stop sign that's right there. People blow through that. Halloween night, it was honestly, it was really troubling on Halloween night how many people blew through that stop sign nonstop all through the night. With all the kids, it was just really troubling.
Sure. All right, so are we gonna table this? And
I'm good with tabling it. We can give Macomb County Sheriff's Department a shot.
okay. Parks and Rec update, Mr. Haziak is he participating?
He sent an email.
Won't be participating. There's no Parks and Rec update in it.
No, okay, yeah,
No.
that's what I was looking for.
Nope.
I can kind of give an unauthorized version.
Well, we do have a representative of Parks and Rec here if she's willing to give an up.
Stand up, please.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Parks and Rec is going pretty good. Unfortunately, we had a setback due to COVID. We're not able to other boards are off our full time. So that was shut down, but hopefully we'll pick that right back up when it's safe and everybody will go. But we're working with Ms. Pridemore to try and get a parade through town to we don't want everybody coming out to see the Christmas tree. Can't do that because it's over again. And so we're going to try and bring the parade again. And we're working on a map right now to go all throughout all the major neighborhoods in our area and bring the show to the residents. So hopefully soon we'll see a sign up and people can participate. We're not looking for like floats. We're looking for more like people in their cars. It may not be cold floats, but we're going to decorate the cars up and we need fire departments in on it, and we're just going to travel around town and hopefully spread some joy. So other than that, we still have.
I saw the sample flyer, the sample.
Brochure.
Oh, did you go? The EDVM flyer?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that, so is it, have you seen it? I know.
yeah, I saw it today.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then it should be out soon, correct? I wasn't sure if that had been.
Well, I don't know when it's going out.
Okay. Well, EDVM, the flyers have been, sent to the printers are told, we're still printing them, but it sounds like they're out, if you got a sample.
Yeah,
They will go out shortly after, so hopefully with that being done, right now, at the beginning of January, we'll have another one that goes out that has more definite dates, and just a little bit more clarity for the rest of us. Advertising is out, so. Doing what we can during COVID. And also we're working with Haven Place to do a food drive for their drive-through dinner night for Thanksgiving. we can definitely get some boxes, some of those restaurants. But some areas out there too, so let's come along, for what we can do.
Sorry for putting the Parks and Rec chairwoman on the spot there. I do want to say though, I mean, it is amazing what all they've done for us this year, considering the circumstances with COVID and everything. And I really like the fact that, you know, I don't know who it was that came up with the idea, but being able to do the parade around the village instead of doing the Christmas tree lighting, that really shows out of the box thinking, and it's really cool.
Call from the floor.
Teresa wanted to say that planning didn't meet, so there wasn't an update anyways.
Yes, right, they did.
Yep.
Yeah. Call from the floor.
I believe we had an update from 2 individuals that are on the Zoom call. I'm trying to send them an unmute request. Okay, I think they unmuted, so Gavin and Danya, if you want to go ahead and speak. I don't know if it's working. Gavin and Danya, you there? Yeah, all right. It looks like they just dropped out, so it doesn't look like they were going to be able to talk. We tried.
Call from the floor. Call from the table.
I did want to bring up, I noticed on the Michigan First Responders Hazard Pay that they've released the dated round on, I think it was the 30th. And New Haven's application for the 18,000 was approved.
Yes.
So we were approved. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
There's a few updates. I met with Lombardo about a week ago, 10 days ago. And their desire that they're going to be coming to planning either December or January with a new site plan for the Pembroke expansion of that I saw, and I meant to, I don't know what I did with the actual drawing, because I was going to make copies for council, but I must have accidentally thrown it away. I don't even have that. The 66 lot expansion that will take the existing Pembroke out to Gratiot. And I was told, and I don't know if I was told this intentionally or unintentionally, but they don't plan on it being part of the Pembroke HOA.
Sorry about that.
So I don't know why. I don't know the reasoning, the rationale behind that.
Yeah, it seems weird.
One is the hazard pay was approved by the state. So we will get, we should be getting an $18,000 reimbursement that was paid out. We were also informed recently, we got a call from MDOT that our grant application for the realignment of 27 in Gratiot has been approved. 2022 grant. It's an 80-20 grant. They will award, they have awarded us $172,000. And the village portion will be approximately $85,000. Alignment of the Gratiot 27 intersection. And I know Mr. Piccoli's been working with MDOT, and MDOT is going to do some upgrades, some pedestrian upgrades
Right.
at that intersection. I think you all can see what's going on out in the core as far as Pembroke. They have sold Rural Oaks on the east side, the west side is available. Then they're going to go back to that First Street, Thomas, or whatever that first block is. They're going to sell that area and leave Salt River Circle for last. In our conversation, they expressed an interest that they intend on coming back into Amherst. Lombardo still owns approximately 33 lots in Amherst. And they also expressed an interest, depending on what happened with the 47 acres as far as the park development, that they would be interested in possibly purchasing the back of that 47 acres, which would have been Amherst 5.
Right.
And in purchasing that from the village, if we were willing to sell it.
That's good.
Okay. And for those of you who may have noticed, there's book boxes. There's one outside this door, there's one at Fountain Park, and there's one at Community Park. And it's a project being done by a young man who is for his Eagle Scout project. His name is David Martin. And part of the project is you bring a book, you take a book. I've seen a lot of books being taken, I've seen a lot of books being dropped off. So there's always, a vast assortment of books. I'm gonna meet the young man tomorrow because he has excess money. He has leftover money from his project that he wants to donate to the village. And I don't know if it's going to the Park and Rec department or if the fire department has like a community fund or something, because I think he's being sponsored by the fire department. So this conversation with him tomorrow.
What was his last name again?
David Martin. That's all I have for now. Are there any other call from the table? If not, then I will have the last word. I would like to take the opportunity to thank Mrs. Mitchell. I love her. That's a nice going away. Mr. Haziak and Mr. Rosday for their service to this community. It's been an enjoyable time. I think 2 years for you, 2 years for you, and I think 4 for Mark. And of course, this is my sign off also. And it's been my absolute pleasure to serve this community, to work with this council. I think we've come a long ways. We've done a lot of good things, and there's a lot of good work that still needs to be done. And to give my support, my total support to Mrs. Pridemore. Anything that I can do to make this transition easy and going forward, if there's anything.
Tell me I'm not to tear my hair out.
Hey, you south thin I am, so I can't make a guarantee on that one. But it's what's important to me is that we as a village continue moving forward. And I'm gonna I'll probably reassume my seat against that back wall that I occupied for a lot of years prior to taking this seat up here. But I'm not gonna be barred, and if anybody has any questions or you think there's some information that I may have that you want or need, feel free. My phone number is not gonna change. So just reach out and I will make myself available. Like I said, the bottom line for me is that we as a village continue moving forward.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Dilbert.
Motion's in order.
Before we do a motion, I do want to at least echo your sentiments. I do want to say really quickly that I appreciate all your time that you've and all the effort that you've put into the village. I'd like to kind of think of you as kind of the dad of the village. So, and I thought it was kind of fitting because when you said that you were going to be taking the seat behind the wall or against the wall, I kind of thought of Mr. Drake, who actually happens to be here today, that, one of our past presidents that's here on a regular basis and always, participating in the meetings. Now we'll have two of you guys that are kind of looking over us and making sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. So, but also, yeah, to our treasurer and to our clerk, And trustee Heshik, I really appreciate everything that they've done over the years, and it's going to be good. Hopefully you guys get to enjoy your retirement.
Oh, yeah. My wife wants to become a snowbird. Ain't happening. Motion in order.
Make a motion to adjourn at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
Support.
Martha, let's get the clock changed.
Yep.